at 6 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I believe we have no amendments to the agenda, so I need a motion to adopt the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Need a motion to approve the minutes from April 22nd, 2021, the regular meeting. Take a look over it.
Make a motion to approve the city council meeting minutes from April 22nd, 2021.
Second.
That. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Accounts payable, Mr. Horvath.
A couple of call out here, 75899, Sugarloaf for the amount of $34,236. That was for the truck that was parked out here that they showed us. The one that goes at the end of the year. And then we get a new one. 75927 was the big plow truck purchase in the amount of $26,100. And then 75930, the WH gas for the West Avenue sidewalk sewer assessment. So I would like to make a motion to approve the accounts payable May 6th in the amount of $109,309.03.
I just have a quick question for Kim on that WHKS. Is that just for their,
It's mileage in it. There's a big tree project, West Avenue sidewalk, there's a sewer project we're working on for the water.
okay, thank you. Sorry, Chris.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Chris. Public comment. This is a time for individuals may address the city council about any item of concern, and speakers must state their name and limit their remarks to 5 minutes. But during COVID, we've been asking to have them call in. Kim, anybody? Mr. Grudem? Nope. Anybody out in public with any public comments? I don't believe so. We'll close that portion. Let's go to new business. 8A, TZD DWI recognition awards. Officer Pat, Chief Pat, sorry.
Greetings, Mayor and Council. Today we have Scott McConkey, Safety Coordinator for the state and TZD, and he's here to present a couple awards to a couple of our officers. Scott?
Well, thank you for allowing me to take your valuable time and to honor some of your awesome cops. I don't know if you remember me. You'd have to the only way you'd recognize me is if you turned off the lights. From 1985 to 1996, I was your night trooper. And I worked out of Rochester and I covered 11 counties. So, but a lot of memories coming up here, and it's a beautiful town. Always enjoy it. In fact, it's so unique. Justin, when did we say the 24th? Yep. We're coming back with first responders and cops from all across southeast Minnesota to do the annual TZD poster right at your bridge. So that will be an honor. They pick one place every year. So, and it's unfortunate you couldn't see me a month ago. I was much more vibrant in my appearance and age because I had my second COVID shot. And I called my wife. I said, I'm having a terrible reaction. I called her at work. She goes, what's wrong? I said, all my hair is falling out and I'm aging rapidly. I look like a bald 65-year-old. She says, you were that yesterday. So it was a relief. I thought it was a shock. But I'm here to give some recognition for some exceptional work done in DWI safety work. When I started as a cop in Fergus Falls in the mid-70s, we were killing almost 60,000 people a year on our highways, and about half of those were due to impaired driving. Last I checked, we were significantly lower. It was around 50 or 40, 45 to 48,000 a year, and a third of those were for DWI. what we've seen is a dramatic number of lives saved in those years, anywhere, depending on the year, from about 18,000 to 10,000 a year. Now that's just throwing out numbers, and it's stats and it's numbers on a paper, but recently I had experience that brought numbers into perspective on the day after December 17th, as I've done since the pandemic. I just check how we doing, check my county stats, Blue Earth, the state, the country, and that day, I don't remember the national stats, but we had about 18,000 U.S. citizens die of COVID. In Minnesota, we had about 24 people. In Blue Earth, we had 1 die, and that was my mom. And when you look at it that way, all those numbers become very personal when one is one too many. And when I think of what these officers do in preventing to keep your community safe, sometimes it's a tough job and it's a thankless job to do DWI enforcement. But just think if it was one of yours that was lost, or what if they were the one doing it and they killed themselves? It's just something we don't like to see and we like to prevent. It's hard to do and a challenge, but what brought Zumbrota to my attention, you had 2 cops on New Year's Eve weekend went out. One was being trained, but he's not a young or inexperienced cop. I know him from other departments, and one was your officer. And they're working together as one was teaching the other the ropes of your community. They detected and took off 7 drunk drivers that weekend from your community. And on one of those nights, Justin, I've been saying it over and over, and now that I'm in front of a group, say it for me, Justin. Coda Jarvie. I've known him for several years, and I still get out of a group. But I'm going to start with Justin Walrich, your officer in serving as an FTO. Tonight, what I have for him is the Office of Traffic Safety Challenge Coin. We have a tradition in law enforcement that we share challenge coins, and it's a symbol of honor, respect, and camaraderie. But we've added one more level to this coin, and it's a very cherished coin. You have to earn it. And for his efforts in DWI being your top enforcer for 2020, and for being an example for others and for teaching it when he teaches others, I'm going to read this. Officer Justin Walrich for outstanding, Justin, why don't you stand over here while I read this? For outstanding DWI enforcement in recognition of DWI prevention efforts as the department's top enforcer, for leadership in setting an example for others to follow, and for making DWI prevention a priority in his training of others, Officer Justin Walrich is awarded a challenge coin from the Minnesota Office of Traffic Safety. So along with the certificate, Justin, I'd like to present you that and your coin. And I've had my shots, but go sanitize your hands as soon as we're done.
Thank you.
Okay, and thank you very much for your efforts. And it was the night of the Justins. Come on up here, and I'm going to explain this award. As I said, we're not new to each other. In his former position in Olmsted County, twice in his career he's had where he's arrested and processed 3 drunk drivers in 1 shift. The 3rd time he did that was that weekend here in Zumbrota. Now I want to be very careful when I explain this. It's not a race, it's not a competition. That's the last thing we want to become involved in, but we are very aware, and I am very aware from doing those for myself. DWI arrest is a very detailed, lengthy, complicated process, and it can be mentally wearing and time consuming, and just processing 1 arrest in an evening is a lot of work. The 2 in 1 night is, I've only achieved that a few times. 3 represents a work ethic that says never give up. And so, having said that, he proved again, 1 more time, along with his FTO, that they just had a work ethic of never give up. So this is his 3rd hat trick, first with Zumbrota PD. So thank you, sir. And it symbolizes the hat trick. That's why we came up with it. It says the number 3 there, so. But before I go, do you have any questions of me?
No, thank you for.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
For sure.
You have a tremendous department. A lot of goes with leadership. When I took over this position, I cover all southern Minnesota, which involves Hector. And your chief, prior to coming here, was there. I think he was trying to escape my area when he came, but he didn't realize he was still stuck with me. So, but you got great officers. Past 10 years, been a wonderful experience working with them, and you can be proud because it's not them, it's all of you together. Because we all took it oath as cops and government officials to do all we can to keep our citizens safe. So thank you for doing that because it makes me feel safer when I come here. Thank you.
Before we go, can we just get a nice group photograph of these guys up here together? That would be great. Scott, if you want to just kind of
And
use
if you could take my
the
camera.
flag by it, yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Chief, you want on the picture as well? I can take it.
That's okay.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Unless you really want to. All right.
You should take your mask off too.
No, are you kidding? The last time that happened? You see how slack you got?
First yet.
Okay.
There you go.
Todd, you're not gonna get in there?
All the stuff on July 1st. Already says.
Come on.
Governor
Yeah,
said.
get it.
Right. So it's just gone. Wow.
Well, I
July
heard
1st.
that you're supposed to be from this angle and you look long and lean.
Or maybe it's this way. I can't remember.
May 28th, he lifts all the
I
restrictions.
don't know. Oh, it's right up here now.
Restrictions on restaurants on 28th of May. Yeah. And then we have to wait until July 1st. And then more mask mandate.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
But it's just done.
Perfect. Thanks again, Scott.
Okay, thanks, Chief. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Justin. 8B, library statistics. James.
Thank you, Mayor. The library board really wanted me to just come and talk for a few minutes to council, just to basically give you some statistics about kind of how we fared at the library during the pandemic, and just thought you might be interested. You know, I don't usually do a detailed report for city council, so I thought you might just kind of, you know, like a little update. So I included in the packets for you, just sort of one of the things that I brought to the library board that they really wanted me to highlight for city council was that, you know, during the time frame from April to December of 2020, which is really kind of when we everyone started going into lockdown and things like that during the pandemic, and looking at how we sort of checked out materials to people in Zumbrota compared to that same period the prior year. And so we did see, obviously, like, you know, a lot of places a decline in, I guess, quote unquote, our business. So we did see during that same time frame about half as much circulation as that we normally would see in a given year. But I think that when we talk about really how the library was successful during that time, when you look at the fact that, so from April to December of 2020, we did more checkouts than Owatonna, than Winona, than Albert Lea, than Faribault. You know, these are cities that are 8-9 times the size of Zumbrota. And so I think that, you know, and so, you know, if you wonder, well, what is it? How did we accomplish that? You know, before, when things started going on in March, I had a plan in place. I had the library board go for a policy. We approved that policy prior to really even when things started getting shut down. So we knew ahead of time kind of how we were going to deal with the situation. It was my goal during that time really to be of service to the public here. And I think that we did that really as, you know, as well as anyone could. You know, one of the reasons why some of these libraries, I think, didn't do as much activity during that time, you know, we are a public institution, so we don't have the same, we can't do the same things that private businesses can. So, you know, if there's an executive order, there's a state guideline that comes out, I mean, we really have to follow every letter of whatever comes out. to the best of our ability. So some libraries, they just couldn't deal with that. Rochester Public Library, I believe, was closed until about a month ago. So they've been closed for almost an entire year. But we were fortunate enough, was very passionate about what I do here and serving this community. And, we really went out of our way to do everything that we could. We were one of the first libraries to offer curbside. Like I said, we were one of the first libraries to have a policy in place, a pandemic policy, and we really served as a model for other libraries in this region. So that's all I really have. I don't want to take up a lot of time, but, like I said, the library board really felt that, I should bring these numbers to you and just tell you a little bit about them if you have any questions about what we've done over the last year.
I've
Otherwise,
heard from many people saying, they were bored when there was lockdown and that they could get books was just my aunt was one of them because she doesn't do online and she doesn't, that she could still get her books and she was so happy about that. So thank you for that.
yeah, well, that's good to hear. And that is one, during, when we had the recession back in, 2007, 2008, that was when we saw a huge spike in use. And, I pretty much anticipate the same thing again here. And obviously the physical restrictions have made it a little more difficult to have that same spike in use. But, some of these libraries, I feel like they put no effort in whatsoever. And if I was a resident in that city, I'd be like, why are we even funding you? You didn't even do, how can you be the size of Owatonna and do, less checkouts to your people in a year than Zumbrota? It's just, to me, that doesn't make any sense. But we didn't do that here. So I'm glad to hear that.
Thanks for your work, James.
Yep.
Thanks for the info. 8C, Bitter Creek Storm Management Pond Repair. Brian.
Yes, so I left all my paperwork on my desk, but I believe there are 7 of these retention ponds built back in the 70s to mitigate flooding in town with Bitter Creek. And it's worked really well. But these retention ponds are getting old. They've got some spill pipes that are rotting away. One of these happens to be on this Mr. John Meyer's property. And it's about a $38,347 repair. Now, back when these were built, it was a combination of landowner, federal, state, and city dollars that built these retention ponds. So I spoke with the Goodie County Soil and Water Conservation District and our city attorney, Bill Angerman, about the importance of these ponds and contributing to the repair. The landowner in this particular case really doesn't benefit a whole lot from the pond. It's there to help the city. So I think it's appropriate, we all think it's appropriate that we give a contribution towards this expensive repair. What we came up with in talking with, again, Soil and Water and Bill was a 15% cost share, in which we would look for $5,800 to go towards the project. That would leave the landowner with about $4,000 left to pay. We think that's very fair. So I'm just looking for approval from the council to proceed with that contribution.
Any questions for Brian?
What are the other 6 of them look like? Are they also going to be?
They're about the same age. I think some of them are a little bit newer, but they'll be coming up. And I've already talked to Kim about this. And we're going to look at a way to put together a line item to start putting some money there for when these come up.
Perfect.
Did the county say there were any written agreements on that?
Yeah, we had a couple. I think Bo sent us a couple of agreements that I think back then it was about more of a 25% share. So we've got a couple of those. We don't have them all.
I just want to make you aware that we put away we get $6,000 levy a year for the stormwater. Now that is to repair every stormwater. Now that's not capital project. $6,000 while we're using it up in one. Because I think that the funding is not going to be adequate for the future repair that we're seeing. So we definitely do need to look at it and perhaps figure out a funding mechanism for that will put our coffers so that we can handle these repairs. Because we'll bankrupt that whole fund pretty quickly. There's not a ton of money in it. So.
Is that where that would come out of now? And then we should be okay?
Yeah, $29,000 on that, but that's
Yeah, well, when you get in the sewer and water, it starts getting up there.
Yeah, it gets expensive for the water. We tuck point the Bitter Creek was like an example. We tuck pointed some of the walls there and did some work there. And, you know, there's up there work to be done with infrastructure, as we all know.
Yep.
I will approve that motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, passes 500. Thanks, Brian. Keller Bartman Construction Site Summary. Mike?
Staff met with Mr. Robbie Pashina. He's going to be the job superintendent on that job with Lumber One. And we discussed the entire site that how it's going to be brought forth when they do start doing the construction. And the entire site will be fenced. Sidewalks will obviously be closed. They are also going to have from the contractor, they want to present the road or the streets that they're going to use to get there and hopefully get that down to just one street. So the construction traffic will, whether it's 3rd Street or 4th Street, they'll be only using one of those streets. And I think other than that, it's pretty well straightforward, other than the road closures. And right now they don't anticipate any road or street closures. But if they do, we'll come back to council with that for approval. So sound like they had a good plan going forward. So that's all I have.
Any questions for Mike? Thanks, Mike. I skipped one, so we'll go back to 8D, the Keller Bartman TIF assessment, or assignment, sorry.
Yes, this came up this last week. Keller Bartman's lender, First Farmers and Merchants Bank, is requesting to assign the TIF note to them. I spoke with Mary Ipple, our TIF counsel, and then I also spoke with Keller Bartman's attorney to get the wording correct on this. So Mary has reviewed all of this, and she said it's something that we should sign. A lot of times lenders will require this, and so it's just more paperwork. But it's all approved by our TIF council and ready for moving forward. So I'm just looking for an approval of, so the mayor and I can sign it and keep the project moving.
So we have documentation of these things in 30 years. And we can't
Yes, that's right.
I will make motion. Approve the signing of the TIF note for Farmers and Merchants Bank. Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 500. Thanks, Brian. 8F, July council meeting date change. We're going to like to see one meeting in July and change that to July 8th instead of the 1st and the 15th or whatever. Does that work for everybody? You around, Tina?
Can't not be now that we're virtual.
That works for you, sir?
Yes.
Fellas?
I might be across country, but I can tune in, so.
So we'll need a motion to approve the council meeting date change in July to July 8th only. 2021. Thank you.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 500. Reports. Brian Grudem.
Yes, we received the bonding dollars today. And Kim and I are going to visit the bank on Monday and put the money in a CD. I'll let Kim explain more when she does her report. But and then recycling bins, working with some camera. They're trying to get some camera quotes. We need to have cameras out there. I reported on that last month. And so I'm working on that, hopefully to get some quotes together end of next week to try and get these recycling bins back out there. You might have noticed if you drove by the police side of the building, the bushes are gone. It looks really nice. They were overgrown and ugly and really inhibited the view. backing out of the driveway over there. It was really tough because of the proximity of Casey's driveway and not being able to see. So I asked Larry this morning if he could make time to get the bushes out of there, and he did it right away. So they're gone already. But I think it made a big difference. Looks nice over there.
Yeah.
The pool, I just got off the phone with Brad Thatcher a little bit ago, and we are on schedule to finish up very end of May. He's waiting for confirmation on a pool motor or a pump motor. And then the sandblasting and painting was going to get close to our opening date, but we're hoping still to, I think June 7th was the date, Mike, that we're looking to open. So that's still the plan. If we have to move it a little bit, it can't be much because we've got a whole bunch of kids signed up to start swimming lessons on June 14th. So, but we're on schedule, and hopefully we'll get some good weather between now and then to get finished up. So.
That it?
That's it.
Thanks, Brian. Matt? Chief?
I just wanted to add that the 2021 Ford Explorer is in service. We finally got that vehicle up and running, and it's fully operational and on the street. That is all.
Thank you. Dylan?
Today I received an updated business list for the city from the Secretary of State. And we're going to use that to update our business directory, which aligns with our goals of just updating some of the things that we see online with our website with outdated this or that. But we have a full comprehensive list for the first time in a few years, and that's just from today.
Thanks, Dylan. Kim?
I just want to report that we did receive our bonding money today. It was $3,110,739.75.
Does it come with a big check?
No, it does not come in a big check. It comes via wire, so they just call and confirm. We will be reinvesting it with the Bank of Zumbrota. They offered us a competitive rate. We were looking with Ellers and some other things, and they beat all their rates. So we will be going out for a year with them with a CD. We also had swimming lesson sign up. Miranda and I were attended. We have a new pool manager this year. We did it all in person. Next year, we're hoping to go online. I think it went really well. It was well attended. We have quite a few students. We haven't sold as many season passes, but I think people were very cautious, not knowing what the capacity limits would be. So I'm anticipating that as the summer progresses and the pool is up and running, we'll get more memberships. So I think we had, Miranda and I figured about between upper 2s to 300 registration.
Good. Thanks, Kim. James?
Nothing, I think.
Mike?
I attended the pre-construction meeting this morning with Goodhue County on the second phase of Goodhue County 6 out there. Their tentative dates are the starting date of June 7th and completion date of July 31st. If Fitzgerald finishes his work up, there's possibility of moving that up to May 24th, the start date. And then that would also push the completion date a little earlier too. But it's going to be a little tricky, and there's going to be quite a bit of detours and one-ways going in and out of there. But just hopefully everybody can have a little patience with them. Doyle Connor is the company that'll be doing the paving. So it'd be nice to finish up that project too and have it complete.
That can be concrete.
That's going to be concrete. Blacktop shoulders on it, and kind of like the rest of 6 that they've done so far. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Does the trail go alongside of it or next to it? Like right along the shoulder or up on that?
So this portion of 6, the majority of it will be all curb. So it'll be a boulevard and then your trail on the inside of the boulevard.
Thanks, Mike. I have a couple things. First one, we had the Keller Bartman groundbreaking. I want to thank Tina and Sarah for being there. I thought it went very well. We had a good turnout. Got to meet the builders and the banker and couple other people. So that went very well on Monday. That is going to be Town Center, the name is going to be of the apartment complex. And my second thing is Angie Craig and I are working on doing a meeting August 9th with a couple of downtown businesses and then having dinner. That's the date that's been out there, but I've been having some contact there, so that's a date. I'll keep further notice of what we're going to do and what businesses we're going to meet. That's all I have. Durham?
I'm good. I was just going to mention the groundbreaking in the Golden Shovel that we got to keep, so I'm pretty excited about that. Pretty excited to have, I think they're going to be a great development company to have in town and long-term management company as well. So really excited that Bob and Andy are digging in, getting started.
Huge deal.
It's
They
going to be
haven't
a,
had anything this big built for housing in
Ever?
the towers, and that's a long, I mean, that's a long time ago.
yeah,
It's a big deal.
it's pretty exciting. So, that's all I got.
Horvath? Kriege? Nothing, thank you. Meeting adjourned.
You can see that, Tina? You just handed them my paper.
Last week we just stacked them here, you know.
What's up with the paper business? I thought we were paperless.
You were the one complaining about.